Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino, Monday, September 9th, 2024. Post-market wrap-up. People, before I even say another word, there is something happening to some of you out here, and it's a scam on a very incredible scale. Some of you out here are getting calls from someone that is impersonating me. I am Greg Mannarino, blah, blah, blah. They're trying to sell you something. It's an incredible thing. Most of you probably can recognize my voice. I don't know if they're using some kind of AI. I don't know. But I can promise you it's not me. If you get a call, I don't even know where they're getting people's phone numbers from. Okay. This is something obviously pretty big. I don't know how they do it, but just it's not me. If someone calls you for any reason and says that they are me, trust me, it's not me. Okay, so I just want you guys and girls to be very, very, very careful. This is, there's a lot of scammers out here on this blog and in my newsletter. They're everywhere. But now they're calling people. So just, again, please don't fall for this. It's a scam. All right. Anyway, Mitch, thanks. Thanks, everybody. All right. Look, we have a lot to talk about, people. I almost don't know where to start with this. Let me just get my head on straight, talk about the market real quick. We had a bounce today in the major indexes here across the board, pretty much. Along with that, cryptocurrencies getting bit higher, commodities, gold, silver getting bit higher, crude oil, 10-year yield. I mean, what a drop. This morning we were at just about 3.8, we're at 3.7. I'm telling you the setup here is an incredible thing. In 9 days, as I said in the video from this morning, we're going to hear from the Federal Reserve, world control. They control the monetary system. They control the markets, the economy, everything. And they're going to start to, well, they're already doing it. You know this already. They're creating vast amounts of cash, just miraculously out of nothing. They're monetizing the debt. They're buying all the debt. They've managed to do so much of this. They have now flipped the entire yield curve from its longest inversion cycle in history, okay, to now a normal yield curve. This is yield curve control. This is to foster an illusion. This is all an illusion built on the back of trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and tens of trillions of dollars in debt that's being pulled into the now, and massive currency devaluation on an incredible scale. Now we're over here in the top. I don't know how many of you can see that. I hope you can. I'm running a poll here. How many of you want a stronger currency? It looks like just 88% of you. It should be 100%. Anyone here that wants a weaker currency, obviously they're playing a game. They don't want a weaker currency. They want a stronger currency. Nobody wants a weaker currency. Only, seriously, I'm going to say it, the brain dead want a weaker currency. We all want a strong currency. It's the backbone and the foundation of the financial system. So many people are being forced. I really believe they're being forced to swallow lie after deception on an epic scale. And what we're seeing now just really proves to me, I mean, because I'm involved in this, and I believe I have a kind of a good understanding of what's happening, and I know you do as well. You probably can't believe what you're seeing for yourself in many, many ways. So, maybe we'll start off with that. I don't know how many of you have even really, truly a very basic understanding of the fundamental principles involved in a strong economy. It really comes down to two things. And I'm going to demonstrate that for you, actually. I have a chart here. This is consumer price index. Basically, this is the purchasing power of the dollar over time, going back to 1950 to where we are now. And we have accelerated this. There's almost no value left in the purchasing power of the dollar. And, back here in the 1950s, and so, it took one income to have a really nice income, brand new car, beautiful house, the stay-at-home mom, whatever it was, the American dream. All right. Look at the difference in the purchasing power of the currency. This is right off the Fed's website, by the way. I always tell you to use the Federal Reserve's website as a weapon. So obviously, those of you here who don't want a strong currency, well, maybe you should leave this blog. Honestly, you don't belong here. You're a loser, and that's just who you are. I'm sorry to say that, but I really don't care. I see what's on my mind. You don't like it, you can go someplace else. But this is what's been happening here. The purchasing power is being stolen away, and as we've seen this progress, what have we witnessed with our own eyes? Well, if you're anywhere near my age, gone again are the mom and pop shops. Small businesses wiped out, can't survive. The corporate agenda getting stronger and stronger and stronger. The weaker currency, absolutely a positive for the corporations. So artificially suppressed rates, obviously a negative as well. You can't disconnect the strength of a currency and interest rates. It can't be pulled apart. Let me ask you this. All right. What gives, let's say, for example, a rare automobile that's made of the same metal as another one that's not so rare, or whatever it might be. What gives that rare automobile its value? How many of you want to take a guess at that? Jeffrey, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. It's because it's rare. All right. It's made of the same metal and everything else. They make a limited amount of these things. It's the same thing with the currency. Currency has value, or used to at least, because it was rare. All right. Why is a $100 bill worth more than a printed one, obviously, than a $1 bill? Because they're more scarce. The more scarce the currency is, the more value it has, the more purchasing power it has. And we all know that central banks around the world are on a race to the bottom. They're destroying the purchasing power of their currency. Right now, as the world economy continues to contract, central banks are ballooning the money supply right now. And the more they balloon the money supply, the more simple, or the easier it is to acquire currency because, let's say, of suppressed rates, the lower the purchasing power or the value of the currency is. It's a very, very simple concept to understand. But this is what they've locked us into here. And we're even hearing this again out of the current beautifully nice people running for president of the United States, promising you lower rates, right out of Trump's mouth, promising you a weaker dollar. Is he not aware of this? Does he not know this is going? See, Kamala has no idea. She really doesn't. And I'm not calling her stupid. Okay, honestly, I've taken a little heat for that. I know that she has some supporters here. I know Trump has some supporters too. Trump is not stupid, and that makes it worse. Kamala, not stupid, but she's not a financial person. She doesn't understand really the economy, the markets. Trump does. And that, in my view, makes it worse. What we're hearing out of the mouths of both of these beautiful, nice people, very intelligent, smart, they have your best interest in mind, is the same story with regard to the financial system. We promise you lower rates. We promise you a weaker currency. You can't separate the two. So what they're telling you is we, both of them, whoever it is who gets behind the Resolute desk, is going to help the Fed finish what they started. Although obviously this was much higher going prior to 1950. So they work for the Federal Reserve. They don't work for you. And I'm going to prove that more to you moving forward in just a moment. Here we have so much to talk about. When you hear these kinds of things out of a politician's mouth, understand they believe that you are too dumb to understand, to look at a chart. I mean, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to understand what's happening here. The purchasing power of the currency being stolen as the money supply, the global money supply. This is collectively central banks. Well, no, this is the Federal Reserve, but collectively central banks are doing the same thing, ballooning the money supply. And the act of doing so, Ralph, thank you. Think about what I'm going to say. When a central bank, any central bank, let's talk about the Fed. All right, we have a chart here. As they weaken the currency by design, thank you, Mitch, it takes now more currency to buy the same thing that it did, let's say, back here. It takes a lot more currency to buy. Let's say you want to buy, I don't know, a car. Back in, what year is this year? Let's say 1980. Okay. Now you want to buy a car here. It takes a lot more bills because now the currency is devalued. Now, to make up that difference, an issuing central bank, thank you, Tyler, must now create even more currency. It's a vicious cycle, and they love it. The more they're allowed to do this, the more they're allowed to create more cash out of thin air, the stronger they become. You understand that, right? We lose, they win. Again, gone to the mom and pop shops, gone. Mom and pop shops. That's what right here. Look, from the 50s, the 60s, that in 60s, this is what was the backbone of the United States and the world. They're gone. And you can see as the currency has been devalued, and there's almost nothing left. The dollar has now lost about 98% of its purchasing power since the Fed has taken over the system. That's a crime. And of course, you understand this is a literal crime. Okay, we've been switched from a constitutional money system for which we are assured a commodity-backed system by gold to this debt-based system. Nowhere in the Constitution, Jay Hawkeye, thank you, does it say that we're supposed to have a debt-based system. We were promised a wealth-based system. This mechanism is part of that. And when you hear, again, I don't care how much you want to lick the feet of Donald Trump or lick the ankles of Kamala Harris, when they're telling you right out of their own mouths that they're promising you lower rates, means a weaker dollar. That means the Fed gets to fulfill its eventual end game, to own it all, to buy it all, to be the lenders and buyers of last resort. Now, as we all know, an event needs to occur, and they're moving rapidly towards that. It could be 2025. We're going to talk more about that, where they can switch us to a central bank digital currency. The system is collapsing. The currency is collapsing. Again, has 2% of its purchasing power that we have right now. It's an astonishing thing to see, but that's where we are at here. Now, understand, you're being lied to. Now, with regard to that, I want to bring. Oh, by the way, a couple of things are in play. No surprise to you if you follow this blog. Investors are nervous about the stock market and the economy. Okay, let me tell you something about investors. I am an investor of a pretty high order. A lot of you that follow this blog, same thing. We're holding our fire. You know why? Okay, we bought every dip that came along for the last X amount of years, and we have killed it. We're going to continue doing so. Okay. Investors don't give a damn about the economy. There's no connection here at all. More easy money is going to be pumped in here. More currency devaluation, artificially suppressed rates. The Fed is doing it. You know the Federal Reserve has your best interest in mind, right? If the Federal Reserve is telling you that they're about to cut rates, and then you hear Kamala promise you lower rates, you hear Trump promise you lower rates, how do you disconnect those things? Trump is on my side. Kamala is on my side. They are both aligned with the Federal Reserve. You understand? Calling for the same thing. It gets worse than that too. It gets even worse than that. So just going back to this, investors don't give a damn about the economy. Tyler, thank you again. Investors realize the worse that this gets, and what is about to happen 9 days from today, with the Fed making their announcement, in other words, giving themselves permission to unleash the floodgates of hell to create an enormous amount of cash out of nothing. Obviously, that's currency negative. Plays right into what they're looking to do. 90% of the purchasing power already gone. Okay. They want to finish that. They need an ally. I've been telling you this for the longest time. They have two allies right now. Doesn't matter who they get behind the Resolute desk right now. Could be Trump, could be Kamala. Doesn't matter at this point. They're both selling you the same thing, at least from that standpoint. Weaker dollar. Promising you lower rates. What we need, the solution here, is very obvious. We've spoken about it before. We're going to talk more about that in just a moment. But anyway, so this is a vicious cycle. The weaker this gets, the more the Fed gets to create more currency out of nothing. Anyway, so the economy is in free fall around the world, and the markets were right off of a record highs here again. That mechanism is going to get even more pronounced in 9 days. We probably will get a sell-off. Okay, that's what I'm waiting for. When buy the rumor, sell the news, markets near record highs again. I would be willing to bet, and that's why I'm holding fire. I'm keeping powder dry along with my lions. I've told you what I'm going to do. I'm waiting. I want to wait to see what happens on the announcement. When the Fed says, okay, everyone, now we're doing it, even though they're already in the market, the Fed's already in here. I wrote a whole paper about it. I did a video on it. The Fed's already involved in hardcore quantitative easing. You understand? Period. You're not allowed to know that. You're being told that the Fed is going to, cut rates, and they're gonna it's gonna be easing. They omit the word quantitative. You understand? Because that would bring your brain, or some people's brain, back to the financial crisis. Oh wait, we're in full-blown crisis right now, and the crisis is the liquidity crisis. You all know that. Thank you, Talia. I appreciate that. And that's why another reason you're hearing calls for, or promises, both of these things, for lower rates. It allows the Fed to fulfill their goal as the ruler over all of us. We're free to do what? Participate in their system. Period. Nothing else. It's really the truth. Now, on the back of the market, this sent shockwaves today through the cannabis industry. Trump did a pretty solid 180 here. And this, look what it did. Look at what the effect of what Trump said did to cannabis stocks. It's an incredible thing. Trump is now supporting the use of cannabis, scheduling it down here. As a matter of fact, he's adopting Biden's exact plan. There's no difference. You don't believe me? Look, whenever I say something, please look it up for yourself. So now you have Trump, Biden, and Kamala. Biden and Kamala, they're in the same boat here with regard to cannabis moving forward. So look, I'm not telling you guys and girls what to do. I never will. Okay. But if you want to look into these things, these are the ticker symbols. You don't need to copy these. This right now is in your inbox if you subscribe to my free newsletter. Some of these things took off over 10%. I mean, 9%, 9.13%, 7.3%, 9.65%. I mean, the cannabis industry, the pot stocks are loving Trump right now. Anyway, so there you go. This is not making a lot of Republicans happy, as you can see. It's kind of interesting, Hey, you know what? Maybe I'll do this, and maybe it'll be good. Obviously, there's something much more going on here. This is not what it appears to be. But understanding this, you want to get involved here. I know some of you already are. Those are the ticker symbols. Link in the description of this video. Trump likes pot. Beautiful. The pot president. Maybe he's going to go from the crypto president to the pot president. Let me know what you think. Now, people, I want to talk about a couple of other things again here. I told you this is going to be a little on the longer side. I want to bring all of you up to speed as to what's actually going on with regard to all this talk about tariffs. Again, I'm going to cover something here with all of you. I want you to do your own research about this. I'm going to read you one thing. I want to put my perspective on this, talk about where this looks like we're going. Again, if Trump is selected pot president. So let's talk about this. Who really pays for tariffs? Now, this is in your inbox too. I wrote all over it. If you want to read through this, I would urge you to. This is the CATO Institute on Economics. So introduction about tariffs here. Bear with me. A tariff is a form of tax. And like any other tax, tariffs impose economic costs that reduce our standard of living. I know what some of you are saying. Trump is pushing the tariff thing, so it must be a good thing. Hold that thought. Some people believe that these taxes can magically raise revenue for the government, while making trade fairer, citizens more prosperous, and business endeavors more productive. History proves that these beliefs regarding tariffs are false. Who actually pays for tariffs? I think that it's obvious here, okay? And none of us, I think, are that stupid. But some people are going to buy it. And it's always the minority who creates the bigger problem for the rest of us, okay? When a country imposes a tariff on an import, the person or firm who imports the goods into the home or country bears the legal burden of paying the tax to the government, tariff, okay? But the more relevant question is who ultimately bears the economic burden of a tariff. It goes on to say that different people, domestic or foreign, might bear the economic burden depending on multiple factors, which include pass-through rates. Please look this stuff up, but I'm going to sum this up for you at the end anyway. Pass-through rates for domestic consumers and, of course, fluctuation in currency rates. Keep that in mind. Anyway, ultimately, no brainer here. It is the consumer who pays. Now, I want to show you a chart. This is during Trump's administration with regard to tariffs. On average, it costs U.S. consumers over $4 billion per month. Consumers cost them $4 billion per month as additional taxes, basically to have these tariffs. Now, a lot of you are going to say, well, Greg, tariffs did work during colonial times. I've heard that argument. If you go on to, you're not even going to believe this. Again, this is in your inbox here. There are some people that we've been talking about George Washington. During colonial times, we had a sound money system. We did not have the system we have now. It's been stolen from us. We have a debt-based system where the central banks, including the Fed, especially the Fed, is determined to kill the purchasing power of their currency here. What worked in colonial times or any other time when we had a sound money system does not work now. So what's the solution? Okay, Greg, you know what? You're a bad guy. You don't trust Trump's tariffs because they really do work, even though $4 billion a month tax. I don't think so. Okay. The solution is very simple, but you're not being allowed to know what they are. Could you imagine for a moment, if we understand, you and me, that the goal of every central bank, including the Federal Reserve, is to buy it all, to own it all, to destroy the purchasing power of their currency? What is the last thing you're going to hear out of the mouth of, let's say, in this case, Kamala or Trump? They're not going to tell you what the solutions are. The solutions are in front of your face here. Go back to a time when we had a stronger currency. I've been telling you this for many, many weeks now. The solution to our problems isn't that we need a weaker currency or we need lower rates. We need higher rates and a stronger currency. Henceforth, what? 86% of you right now, look at this poll, say you would rather have a stronger currency. Tariffs will not help anyone. It's not going to help protect the dollar. It's not going to help productivity. It's not going to automatically, okay, well, nations around the world are going to want to buy our products, or people here in the United States. Oh, wait a minute. You know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to make sure that I buy American. They're not going to do that. I am sorry to tell you. People don't want, not even Americans want the products that are made here anymore. That's really the truth. We don't make anything anymore. Very few products are made here in the United States. Now, keep that in mind. Trump is pledging a 100% tariff on countries that shun the dollar. Let me ask you, let's take a little vote here. How many of you believe that Trump's threat to these countries that are shunning the dollar, all of a sudden they're going to say, hold on a minute, Trump is threatening that if we don't use the dollar, which of course is what the Fed wants, now, that's it. We're going to start utilizing the dollar again. That's it. We have to go back to the dollar. If this is not the joke of the century, and the joke is on you, because Trump thinks you're that stupid, or maybe he is that stupid. I don't know. I want to give the guy the benefit of the doubt that he doesn't actually believe that these countries are going to say, oh no, Trump has pushed us into a corner. We got to start using the dollar again. What are we going to do? This is delusional, maybe bordering on the insane. Okay. This is not going to happen. You understand that? And I think it's a no-brainer. You understand that? Tariffs are not the answer here. But Trump can't tell you what the answer is. Neither can Harris. Look, I'm not voting this year. I've already told you that. The system, we don't have it anymore, in my opinion. Our votes don't matter. What we say doesn't count at all. We have two players here. Both aligning themselves as tight as they can with the central bank here. This is the Federal Reserve, promising you things that we don't need. We don't need tariffs. Tariffs are not going to help us unless you want to pay that tax, because those pass-through costs, you're going to pay for them, just like we did last time. Did you see what happened to the trade deficit? Well, let's go even back to Obama. All through Trump, the trade deficit started to hyper-balloon on the back of tariffs. Ballooning right now. Well, hold on a second. Who said that would happen since Obama was in office? Yes, it was Greg Mannarino. I said that debts and deficits across the board were going to balloon. Wow. You think I nailed it? We nailed it. Not because we're smarter than anybody, because we're not stupid enough to think that, oh no, Trump is gonna force a 100% tariff on us if we don't use the dollar. We better start using the dollar again. People, I don't care how much you love this guy. I don't care how delusional you may be. Do you see what I'm talking about here? Do you understand what I'm talking about here? It's right for your eyeballs. Oh no, but Trump says the tariffs are good, so they must be really, really good. I want tariffs. I wouldn't pay more for everything because you see, people are going to automatically start buying American products, and American people are going to be really great because he's killing the currency, and the currency is going to die even further from now because Trump says that's a good thing, and so does Kamala, because they're both telling us that we need a weaker currency and we need lower rates, which is exactly the polar opposite of what we need, people. But you're not being told the solutions. People are being so deceived right now by these two things. Oh, they have my best interest in mind. I'm going to be really rich, prosperous. Instead, they're laughing at you. They're laughing at you because they think you're too dumb. You're not that dumb. Let me tell you what's going to happen here. The polar opposite is going to happen here. Instead of these nations that are already shunning the dollar say, oh, wow, Trump's threat, it's real. I'm so scared that we're going to start using the dollar. They're going to back off from the dollar even more. And going back to value, if the dollar here starts to lose its reserve status even more, it gets less used. Let's just not even talk about reserve status. Let's just, okay. All of a sudden, these nations that are already shunning the dollar, they laugh at Trump, which is what they're going to do. The world is already laughing at the United States. We become the laughing stock of the world. I think that's pretty obvious. Okay. Now, what's going to happen if, because of this threat, which is exactly bordering on lunacy, okay? If they say, really? You know what? Read between the lines. Now we're really not going to use the dollar. Now we have all of these dollars that all of a sudden now aren't needed. Guess what happens to something when it's not needed anymore? It loses value, loses purchasing power. Does this make sense to you at any level? Or is Trump just way smarter than Greg and he's 100% right on, and Greg is wrong on it all? I'd be willing to bet that I don't care where you stand. Kamala's Trump, Kamala's camp, Trump's camp. I challenge Donald Trump publicly to a discussion on the financial system and the economy. Anytime, anywhere, I'll pay for it myself. I'll pay for it myself. Okay. We'll see who knows more about the economics and the financial system. You're being lied to. Now, again, these countries say, screw you. We don't need the dollar anymore. All those extra dollars that would have been used, now they're going to come rushing back here. This is how the system works, okay? And all of a sudden, we're going to start getting even more inflation. Look at the money velocity, okay? You want to know what the key is to understanding the economy? It's called the money velocity. Listen to me for a moment, okay? Tell me if this makes sense to you. You have a strong economy, literally, not what we have now. This is a train wreck. Okay. You've been beamed to another planet. Okay. Planet, whatever. We're on planet, whatever. It's beautiful here. The air is so fresh and clean. And the economy's strong. You know, people are out there. They're wearing nice clothes. They're driving brand new cars. They're not swiping credit cards. They got cash with purchasing power. And they're using that cash with purchasing power to go buy things. And, you know, cash is moving around. It's going to this person's hands and it's moving to that person's hands. That's called money velocity, the rate at which cash is moving through an economy. Are you with me so far? Strong economy, you have high money velocity. It's picking up. No brainer here, right? Duh. Can I get a duh? I want to see one duh before I go on. One duh. Duh. Come on. Give me a duh. Duh, 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 duh. Okay. There you go. Now you have a situation. You're beamed to another planet. This really is an awful place. Strange name for a planet, but that's what it is. It's called This Really Is an Awful Place. You beam to This Really Is an Awful Place planet, and the economy is terrible. People are borrowing their way. They can't stop swiping, and they're carrying their highest debt burdens they've ever carried. They can't get by. They're working 2 and 3 jobs now. They have no choice because the currency's been sucked dry by the central bank. Where did I put that? Yeah, in fact, this is exactly what it looks like on planet. This place really sucks. Stinks. Can't say sucks anymore out here. Terrible place. So now all of a sudden the economy's gone nowhere. It's dead in the water. What would you expect to see a rising rate at which cash is moving through the economy, or would you more than likely see it dropping? Look at the money velocity during the Obama administration, during the Trump administration, and during this guy's administration. This guy right now, you're starting to see that money velocity pick up. Oh, no. It's not because, well, hold on a minute, Greg is wrong. The money velocity is picking up. That's proof that the economy is strong. No, this is a phenomenon that you and I have discussed, I don't know how many years ago, probably almost a decade. I said there's going to be a time when all of these extra bills that have been created out of thin air are going to start chasing the same amount of goods. And that's what we're seeing now. That's why the money velocity is picking up. That's why we're seeing inflation. It takes a finite amount of time. When you have an economy that's dead, like we have now, economy's been dead under Obama, dead under Trump, and dead under this guy. Sure, the illusion has been beautiful. You know, trillions of dollars of debt being pulled into now buys one heck of an illusion. It buys a beautiful picture. Okay. But for those of you that were duped and believe that the economy was strong under Trump, you were lied to again. Yes, look at the money velocity. 8.6 trillion under Trump bought a beautiful picture. Okay. It's nothing. It's debt. It's just zero. The money velocity was moving down. Now, understanding that the economy is dead in the water, has been dead in the water. It takes a long time, years, for all those extra bills to make their way through the economy to now we're seeing those bills chasing, in this case, the same amount of goods. And it's basically comes down to the Cantillon effect, which I've been speaking about for a long time. Does this stuff make sense to you? I'm trying to explain this in a very basic way. And I don't care which side of the aisle you're on the wrong side. You should be on your own side here. Okay, you're being destroyed. Trump and Kamala are aligning themselves as deep as they possibly can with the Federal Reserve. And this is pure, utter, complete lunacy. Paul, thank you. Again, this makes sense to you, right? Oh no, you mean he's threatening us? We really better start using that dollar. They're going to say, screw you, ain't using the dollar. They're going to circumvent the dollar more so than they are now. All of a sudden, the dollar is not even needed, and what's going to happen? It loses purchasing power. This is a disaster area, and they're laughing. Let me explain to you what's happening. This kind of a pledge out of the mouth of this very smart person. They'd be laughing at Kamala too if she said the same thing, but just happened to come out of this guy's mouth. You know, I don't even think he has no filter. He didn't think. Nobody that understands how this works can possibly believe that this would work to get people to start using the dollar again. Okay. The dollar is, the dollar is a dying asset along with other central bank issued notes. There's no doubt about it. They're in a race to the bottom. You all know that. But the world is decoupling from the dollar, and no 100% tariff is going to change that. It's only going to exacerbate the problem. And again, the currency devaluation, the possibility, I don't think this has any possibility of happening. If it does, you won't even believe what's going to happen at that point here. The floodgates will even open up even more. The Fed is already going to open the floodgates come the 9th, devaluing the currency. You and I have been calling this out for many months. It's going to start happening. It's already happening here. But wait till you see when they actually make their announcement what's actually going to happen here. Mass currency devaluation, suppressed rates here. All that's going to do, is designed to do, is open up a doorway, push cash into risk assets or the stock market, which is going to be more even hyperinflated than it is now. You remember it was a big, fat, ugly bubble before Trump got into office? Then it wasn't anymore because he was in office, and every day it was rah, rah, rah. Look at that stock market. Then he did say the stock market was going to crash under Biden. That never happened. He also promised to lock up Hillary. That never happened. He also promised to end Obamacare, and I wanted him to end that so badly. Well, he didn't end Obamacare either. That was going to be his first order of business. And now he's threatening again to lock people up. If you're buying that, again, are you that dumb? Have you been dumbed down sufficiently enough? Ain't happening either. But again, it sounds good, I guess, to those certain types of people. I get it. I don't know what's wrong with these people. But anyway, look, do you guys kind of have a handle on what's going on here? With regard to tariffs, it's the last thing we need. The solution here is very simple. The polar opposite of what we're being sold by Kamala. The polar opposite. She stole that from Trump, by the way. Trump was the first guy to say it. Say, hey, you know what? We're going to lower rates. I promise you lower rates, which of course means a weaker currency. Trump at least had the guts to say it. I will give the man credit where credit is due. He said weaker dollar as well. Of course, he gets cheers for that. But it seems like 86% of you here don't like it. Because it don't work. The solution is not tariffs. The solution here is obvious, and it's so in our face. It's in our face because you can see it here. Okay, look how much stronger. You know what the rates were back here? About, let me see, what do we got today? Almost 0, 5 times higher than they are today. And this is when we were prosperous. Now we're being killed. We're being wiped out. We're being exterminated. Understand? You got it, people? Are we on the same page? I would be willing to bet we are. So anyway, look, I hope I've dispelled the myth of tariffs to you. I don't want to hear about how they worked in colonial times, because that is an argument that is just so far out there. It's almost as far out as this. Almost. No, actually it is. It's just as far out as that is. Or at a time when we had a commodity-backed system. We don't have this anymore. It doesn't work. We pay for it, okay? And you all know that we pay for it, but how many of you believe that we don't pay for it? You all know we do. Anyway, look, very interesting times that we're in, people, but that also means that we have opportunity, man. If we realize, you and I, that this is going to continue and accelerate, that last 2%, the last 2% of purchasing power that the dollar has, they're going to get it. What this would do, this combined with the $4 billion a month that we paid, you and I, consumers paid for Trump's tariffs, okay? That may be the event that would lead to hyperinflation. Understand, we're being led to the slaughter, and nothing happens by accident. These are puppets. They're being put there for a reason, to bring about a change, a massive change from this rapidly deteriorating system by design. No comedy of errors got us to a new system of maximum control, and also a vastly reduced population. Currency wars, all this stuff here leads to real wars as well, which we're already in World War III, and that's not going to stop either. Just in case some of you are hoping that's really the case. It's just not going to, unfortunately. And a lot of people here are, unfortunately, are going to suffer moving forward. A lot more people are going to suffer moving forward. Anyway, look, I want to hear from you on this. Do you back, now that Trump has made his 180, not just on crypto, but he's become the pot president, you like it? You like it? Think this is a good thing? Well, if you do and you want to invest, there's your ticker symbols. You don't have to copy them. This is in your inbox. I do hope you subscribe to my newsletter. I really, really do. And this whole thing on tariffs is also I don't even know what I wrote on here. Oh, look what I wrote here. Things, again, pop into my head. Currency issue, scarcity, understanding how the currency or anything for that matter has value. It's because of scarcity. Easy money, which is what we're already getting it, and we're about to see this take off to the next level in 9 days. And what we're being promised by Kamala, what we're being promised by Trump. Low rates means easy money. Easy money is currency negative. Does that make sense to you? I don't know how many other ways I can say these things to you. So understanding that currency, I'm not even talking about money. I'm talking about currency, gold, real money, silver, real money, scarcity gives them their value. Of course, the whole system has been turned upside down by the derivative market. Today, I want you to think about this if you're new here. Gold and silver do not derive value from the hard asset, which is what they should do. They're deriving value from the derivative, and the derivative can be pulled in every direction they want it to go in. Don't you understand? It's a game. The whole thing is a game. But again, this is going to change. Why is it, do you think, in your opinion at least? Central banks loading up on gold, hedge funds loading up on gold, the richest people loading up on gold, you and me loading up on gold, silver. gaining exposure to commodities, because we realize that this insane environment, lunatic environment, is going to turn around, and cash is just going to bleed out of the debt market like you cannot believe. It's going to hemorrhage. Well, it's a nightmare scenario on a grand scale. What's happened here under the last three puppets? Obama, Trump, this thing. They've turned the debt, which was a nightmare prior to Obama, into a nuclear weapon. And they're helping the Fed fulfill their goal to end this all by a big bang. You know, the Big Bang theory, of the universe. That's how this is going to end very, very rapidly, in a big bang. The event could easily lead to a hyperinflationary event with tariffs and companies that they're so scared of Trump that they're going to go back to using the dollar. That's how scared they are. You can't make this stuff up if you try to make it up. Yes, Greg is out there. All right, people, look, I think we're going to get out of here. I want to thank you. Look at this. Almost 800 thumbs up already. Almost 2,000 people here. I appreciate that, Bray Luke. I really, really do. I got to keep it together. Dr. Rizwan, thanks for being here. Before we get going here, do you look? The beauty, unfortunately, of this, where we're going here, the beauty of the billions of dollars that if Trump gets selected, we'll have to pay here, is we already know what the solutions are. No one's going to tell you what they are. The last thing, let me explain to you something here real quick. Okay. Lastly, and I'm going to open this up to all of you. Okay. How many of you find it at all surprising, and I really mean this, that you're not hearing what the solutions are to the system, the situation that we have? First of all, we need to return to sound money. We've been assured that by the Constitution. It's been stolen from us. If we can't have that, then we at least need to have a currency that's stronger. 86% of you believe that's true. Should be 100%. The 14% of you that don't want a stronger currency, you need to up your medication here. And with regard to rates here, the money is harder to get. When rates are higher, cash. When rates are higher, cash is harder to get, so it has more value. So when you hear again, I promise you lower rates, Kamala, I promise you lower rates, Trump, I don't know, they're probably sleeping together, the two of these things. Thought of that is very vile, but probably is. And they're laughing too. Because they, with regard to the financial system, they couldn't be more aligned here. And it looks like pot too. Two pothead presidents. We got Kamala, who's obviously in the same boat here as Biden was. Now Trump is adopting Biden's plan because he likes pot. He's the pot president. But again, look, this is what opportunity is, man. We sit here, we offer solutions, which we'll never hear. You'll never hear this. Trump, in your wildest dream, if Trump were to smoke a pound of pot and got real loose and real easy, he ain't going to tell you what we really need, and that is, of course, a stronger currency and higher rates. And Kamala ain't going to tell you that either. No. That must be kept secret from you because they both think that you're all idiots. Me? I know you're not idiots. I know every single one of you is very smart. And every single of you understands it. But there are going to be those that are going to believe Trump is protecting the dollar with the tariffs. And countries are threatened, and he's going to threaten them, and they're all going to use the dollar, and the dollar is going to be really, really strong. And jobs in the United States, they're really going to come back because we're going to lower the corporate tax rate, and these corporations are going to hire you back. They've been laying off tens of thousands, as we said they would at the end of last year. That was one of my predictions for this year. I said, watch what's going to happen. Corporations are going to lay people off like you can't believe, and this is exactly what happened. All right. You think all of a sudden, just because now they got a lower corporate tax rate, they're going to hire you all back? Is that what they're going to do? Oh, duh. No, they're not going to. If you think that tariffs or anything is going to bring your jobs back, no, it's not. However, If we had a stronger currency, if we had higher rates, we would see the return of small businesses here in the United States and around the world if their central banks also adopted the same thing. But that won't happen either because you see, they want you a slave. They want you working for some corporation. Oh, you can't be your own boss. No, 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 no. We can't have that. We have to have you taking orders because you're nothing but a peon. Understand what I'm talking about here, people? You won't be told this stuff. They're not going to say it. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate. Good, hate my guts because I'm telling you the damn truth. All of you freaking people here who think that Trump walks on water and his tariffs are the best thing in the world, you're going to suffer the most, and good for you. Because me and my lions are going to shred you apart. Don't get in our way. Don't get in our way. I'm telling you now, stay away. Get away from here because you're going to lose. I don't care who they put behind the Resolute desk. I don't care what plan they come up with. We have a counter strategy which is so bulletproof, we don't need to change it at all. Ever. It doesn't matter what they do. We're already on target, you and me. Do you realize how powerful that is? Do you realize how powerful that is? Yeah, you're right. The dollar is dead. And they're making sure they put in it. Look at this. I mean, you're absolutely right. We got 2% of its purchasing power left. Two. The dollar is dead. And Trump thinks that all of a sudden, by his threat here, wherever the freak it was, we're gonna tariff these companies 100% for circumventing the dollar. They're gonna start using it now. No. All right, look, I'm having a good time here today. All right, what I'm gonna do, my lovely friends. Almost 1,000 thumbs up. You guys are awesome, man. No, I'm not losing my mind. I'm having a good time here. AG. Are you AG from a long time ago, AG? You know what I'm talking about. Is that you or is that somebody else? I'm acting manic. I'm having a good time, man. Anyway, people, look, before I go, stop the face. Look, in some ways, this is a coping mechanism. I do these funny things because I just can't. Look, understanding all this stuff, and I get it. To me, it's really, really simple. It's all I do. I'm immersed in this. I study it all the time. I'm fascinated with how cash moves through the markets and the economy, why things happen, why. Always ask why. Why? When you hear a candidate tell you something, ask why. When you read a particular headline, say, why? You should always be asking why. It's a great question to ask. And if someone can't give you an answer, then you know that they obviously don't know what they're talking about. And that's okay too. Most people have no clue at all. And then they prey on people. There are many, in fact, politics is based on it. Preying on people's insecurities, make them afraid of something. Okay, that's huge. Prey on insecurities, make people afraid. Oh, well, look, these people are out to get you. Well, no, these people are out to you. These people hate your guts and you have to hate them. Make them insecure, put fear into them, and all of a sudden they become zombified and mystified. Then you all of a sudden, because maybe you're presenting a solution, now all of a sudden you become almost like a godlike figure. Oh, that's how it works. That's how it works. And then they prey on people being dumb. You see, if you follow this blog, you're pretty well educated on how money works, how the economies work, why the markets do what they do, and we're doing our thing. You understand? Excuse me. Anyway, but you're not dumb. Every single one of you here that's been with me this long, this video is going on for what? Almost 50 minutes. You understand what's happening here, and that gives you such an edge. Again, there's going to be some people here, all of you here that are with me right now, are smart enough to know what moves you need to take. This is a channel for lions who are taking action. Look out for each other. We protect each other. We got each other's backs all the time. And we can argue with each other. Understand, I go back and forth with some of you from here time to time, and you guys and girls too. Don't be afraid to engage someone logically. If it devolves into like hatred and FUs and all, you know you're dealing with an imbecile. When someone has to respond to you using hate, using curse words, and you're looking at someone who has no alternative but to do that. They can't logically present an argument. So that what they do is they revert to a primal state. It's very obvious when you're going back and forth with someone and they do that to you. Just ignore them because they can't make their point. What's this? Good. I do believe. All right, look, we'll take some questions here, but you got my gist on that. I sincerely believe this, people. I've said this for how many years? Okay, we are going to get a gold. I think the probability of getting a gold Dow 1-to-1 ratio is at least 70%. At least 70%. Again, this mechanism here is just so in our face obvious, causing currency devaluation, artificially suppressed rates, pressure on the people. Again, back like, in the days when the currency had some more purchasing power, it literally took one income. You didn't even have to be a doctor or a lawyer or something like that, or a financial guy to be living a good living. You could have been a car salesman. Some car salesmen make a ton of money. You could have worked at a butcher store or something, a mom and pop shop, working in, not owning, and you still did well. You had a nice house. You lived in a nice neighborhood. You had a brand new car. Today, down here, 2 incomes don't even make it anymore. Do you think this is by accident? Do you think this is honestly just a comedy of errors here? The purchasing power loss was down to 2%. It's not. And it's just right. They're selling us the same thing today. Oh, man. And the solution is in our face. Okay, Greg, where's the solution? You know what the solution is? So stop asking me where it is. The polar opposite of what Trump is saying. The polar opposite of what Kamala is saying. The polar opposite of what the central banks want, which is exactly what Trump and Kamala are saying. But the Fed has your best interest in mind because both Trump and Kamala want the same thing that the Fed wants, and that is lower rates and a weaker currency. So, of course, they have your back. I'm laughing, man. I'm laughing. Exactly, Mike. You don't follow this blog by accident. You follow this blog because we connect. And I'm not going to connect with everybody. I get it here, man. I get it here. I really do. Anyway, all right, people, look, this is a really long video. I'm going to do like maybe one more thing here before we fire the Fed. Dude, I want this institution is a crime syndicate of the highest order. They're counterfeiting. They're running a Ponzi scheme. The law is on our side, people. The Constitution guarantees it assures us a sound money system. Nowhere, and I know there are lawyers here. I don't know how many constitutional lawyers are out here, but nowhere in the Constitution. I've read it, and I'm sure you have too. Okay, just go through it. Do it today. Okay, you can find it online or anywhere else. So if you have a Trump Bible, you have it in there too. I happen to have a Trump Bible. Anyway, read it, and you will see that nowhere is there a mention of a debt-based system, of a fiat monetary system, of a blockchain system, or anything like that. It talks about gold and silver only, a wealth-based system. Are we on the same page here? I think we are. And it's a Ponzi. Look at this, people. Come on, man. Look at that. You want to be here. Do you really want to be here, there, or do you want to be here? Duh. That requires a duh. All right, look, guys. Love you all. Love you all. And I mean this with all I got. Thanks for being here, everyone. Thanks for your support. If you got something out of this video, good, bad, or indifferent, please comment. I want to hear from you. I may not write back to you, but I promise you I go through the comments. I really, really do. I try to get rid of the scammers too. Sometimes they sneak through. My moderators are doing an absolutely fantastic job. But please, just real quick, if you get a call from me, it's not me. All right? It's not me. Just laugh into the phone. Or if you want to play with them, I don't know whatever you want to do. But they're not real. Okay? I can promise you that. All right, look, people, love, and more love. And that's how we save the world, man, through love, period. We can push out all the bad with just love. It's that simple. Anyway, man, all the hatred that we have today, it's a crazy thing to see. All right, people, this guy loves you. Please share the video, get it out there. Thumbs ups are valuable. I'm counting on you, and I will see all of you in the morning, okay? With that said, until we meet again, what am I going to say? Take care of yourselves and take care of each other.